Hello and good day my beautiful friend, it's your boy King Gabriel again here for another impromptu video, and today's video is seeing clearly. When I refer to seeing clearly, I'm speaking about seeing from the perspective of the spirit that is in, as, through, and expressing as every single thing that exists. That is in contrast to seeing from the perspective of an individual, right, within a body, looking onto the world and seeing the world as separate from that body. Now, when we're in the individual standpoint, we tend to look at things as whether they're similar or different. The things that are similar to us, for instance, people that are similar to us, we tend to think of as friends, and we think we have similar interests, so we have a lot in common, which means we should be close. We're close. Those that are not similar to us, that have different views, for instance, different views about what it means to be a specific race or a specific level of intelligence or anything like that, we tend to see them as different. That's from the human perspective. And so these divisions are formed and people stay separate based on that. And in that separation, there can be animosity developed. And this is what has led to many of our wars and many of the things that keep us back in terms of actually uniting as one organism. And I use that, I know exactly what I'm saying when I say organism, okay? The world itself functions as a complete organism, the universe, etc. But humans tend to have trouble with that because of their individuation and the desire to maintain the idea of a selfish and separate self, okay? Now, seeing things from the idea of spirit allows us to see that even though there are these differences, it's just like, and I'm gonna compare it to the body. It's just like in the body there are different cells that have different functions. You don't expect a cell that is responsible for, let's say, taking care of repairing the brain or repairing, let's say, an eye, right? And you don't expect that cell to instantly up and start making a toe, right? Now it is capable of doing that because the cell will actually adapt to wherever it has to be and perform its function still. But if it is a cell that's designated for that, you expect it to do that and no one has any judgment about that. That is perfect what it does. It can do something different, but its ideal function would be its original function. We are just like that. We have original functions, and all of us are different because of those functions that we perform. What happens is people look at others and think that they should be doing the function that they're doing as well and try to get them to fit that mold. And as Einstein said a long time ago, if you judge the intelligence of a fish by how well it can climb a tree, then it will be a fool every time, right? It would be silly, right? You can't ask a fish to climb a tree and then judge it and say it's not a smart fish, right? It swims and it swims really well, but it won't climb trees. So let's go into us looking at seeing clearly. Now, seeing clearly mainly means that we're able to see that in the expression of individuation, there will be polarization and there will be differences among us. But the truth about us is that we're serving the same exact purpose as an organism. And then to look at it and say that, well, those people who are in Africa, and I'm calling it straight out, it's what it is, it's what the images that they put forth on TV and all these things all the time. So let's talk about that. The kids that are starving and stuff now, why is it that the people in other countries don't see that as affecting them? They don't see it as affecting them because in their minds they see them as different, and different so much so that in their minds it's very little weight, it's very insignificant, it doesn't matter, right? And if it was another type of kid that was closer to them in particular, they would probably take it a bit more seriously, right? And so that's just the value that people put on specific lives because of their perspective as well. And this is a topic that most people don't discuss, but it is true, right? And let's just speak about it and get done with. Okay. So, for instance, I was listening to something the other day and somebody went "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo," right? "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo." That's a big, childhood thing that people play when they're playing catch, right? But I know it's just a little fun blurb that people blurb out, but nobody thinks about where did that come from. Like, if you know the rest of what they say when they say that, think of how inconsiderate it was of the person who made that up and decided to throw in whatever they decided to throw in. And I hope that you follow me on that, but you know how any, mini, miny, mo goes, right? Now, that is definitely not seeing clearly, okay? Because it is not kind to that specific type of person that's mentioned in there, right? And I'm not saying that because I am that type of person. I'm saying that because in general, it is very, very inconsiderate if we function as a unit. So understanding that, we can then come up and decide to see clearly. And seeing clearly mainly means seeing the spirit in each individual, being willing to see that and witness that and allow ourselves to rise to that level of thinking by assuming that we're on that level. Assumption is something that is really powerful and pulls us towards new ideals, right? So as we allow ourselves to rise to that, we allow ourselves to occupy that space and to become spirit, act as spirit, live as spirit, have the body function in perfect function, perfect health, perfect harmony as was designed. And that's all it really is. So seeing clearly is key. And I just wanted to touch on that and not really ruffle anybody's feathers per se, but just bring to awareness the need for consideration. Okay? So, love you all as usual. Eternal love and infinite peace. Also, I'm going to post a link at the bottom of all this. Check out the link, right? There's much information for you that I sorted out and I took the time to sort out. And if you're interested in finding out more about what I do and moving forward, it's a good way to find out. Okay, take a look and I'll be in contact with you. Have a lovely day and stay blessed. Eternal love and infinite peace.